The great sport of boxing, dating all the way back to the early age of men, back when the kids could work in the coal mines. Truly better days. The sport has been evolved heavily over time and become more and more popular with fighters like Muhammad Ali and Rocky Balboa. Even video games created after famous boxing eras like Fight Night have inspired people around the world to truly beat the shit out of everyone they see. But today we're going to look at a game that could have completely captivated the entire boxing audience, but unfortunately missed the mark. Hajime no Ippo started as a sports manga in the late 80s following a high school kid named Ippo, shocker, who almost gets turned into ground beef when one of the greatest boxers of all time, Takamura, comes to save him. After seeing this brave display and a little bit of encouragement, Ippo decides he wants to learn about boxing, later becoming one of the best in Japan and even the world. The popularity of the anime spread, leading to various Ippo games like Victorious Boxers for the PS2, and even a typing game for the computer back in 2001. In reality, I saw a video of Evan playing Victorious Boxers 2 that pushed me to finish this project, so thank you, King. Keep up the good work. Love your videos. If you haven't seen his video on Victorious Boxers, please go check it out. It is a riot to look at. Hajime no Ippo, The Fighting, was released on the PlayStation 3 in December of 2014, so you know it's already a big red flag. I mean, let's be real, that console is a big steaming pile of donkey wiener, and the PS4 had already been out for like a year or two. What the frick were they even thinking? The game follows the manga from the start of Ippo's first sparring match with Miyata, all the way to challenging the second best boxer in the world, Alfredo Gonzalez, in the featherweight class, for the chance to box the world champion, Ricardo Martinez. So shout out Team Mexico. This game follows the story through a series of animated manga panels as you fight each boxer in succession. However, you don't have to follow the story the way the manga pans out. Depending on if you win scripted fights, the line branches into a what-if scenario that can make anyone the world champion of their weight class. What's radical is we don't just have to follow Ippo. We get to fight as even better boxers, like Aoki the Frog King. But besides my GOAT, you can play other characters like Sendo, Takamura, and even Sawamura. Outside of the story, as you progress, you can unlock and play other characters in what's called free mode that you've previously faced off against, like Imai, Wally, and the living legend himself, Ricardo Martinez. What makes this game so great is how different every boxer is. This ain't no copy-paste anime BS, nah. We got real combos for each individual fighter that requires a very specific play style. This requires different timing to establish the right rhythm and learn how to box against certain opponents, whether they're an outboxer or a straight bruiser. Everyone even gets their own ultimate move, which is a flashy cutscene that sautés the opponent's health if they get caught in it. Their stats are also extremely different as well, even AI difficulty changes. You have Ippo that hits harder than Chris hit Rihanna, or Miyata who is so fast you can literally decimate people just by jabbing them to death. I mean, literally, it's so unfair if you've got some stacked stamina skills with him. Speaking of skills, another extremely Pog champion mechanic of this game is the skill set. Each boxer, excluding a few, gets 3 skill slots to better tailor your playstyle and buff a boxer's strength or tighten up their weaknesses. Aoki gets 4 skills because he's literally garbage. I mean, a toddler would be a better candidate. And the skills aren't too polarizing. Thanks to the Homing Island, we found individual attack skills like Body Blow level 4 usually max out around a 30% attack buff in terms of boosting stats in the game. And don't get me wrong, 30% is pretty high, but it's not too crazy tough to overcome considering that's the highest it can go. But the best game feature included is the option to gamble. Where's all my gambling addicts at? You can finally bet your mortgage and get your wife's diamond ring back. That's right, Hajime no Ippo has a computer versus computer, AI versus AI, simulated watching mode. In watching match mode, you can pit 2 computers against each other to see who will win. This actually made for a very fun stream, so I highly recommend you go check it out after this video. So why isn't this game the absolute best? You've got a good story, a large roster, and skills to help you spice up the bedroom. Well, beauties, the answer is simple. Leveling. This game plays wildly different based on the level of you and your opponent. The devs thought of the genius idea of having boxers rank from level 1 all the way to rank 30. Now, I'm not saying leveling as a core mechanic is inherently bad, but unfortunately it ruined this game. Even just a few levels, and it makes beating an opponent virtually impossible. You get 2 jabs off before you start sweating more than a Christmas pig, and they basically quickscope you right on the bell ring. I know, I'm horrible at games as you've seen on this channel, but I think even skilled players would agree with me on this one. Instead of a smooth story progression, you're stuck getting your ass beat 50 times till you finally get a few levels and win. It was too harsh. Even just a 10 level cap would have made things much better, not such a harsh curve. Only having 10 levels would definitely give you an advantage, but at least with practice, good reaction time, studying your opponent, you have a good shot of winning. This way you don't smoke your opponent either. It will still be a slight challenge for some, which keeps the game entertaining with the risk of losing. The next glaring problem related to a boxer's rank is there's no way to reset a character for a story playthrough. If you look at Dragon Ball Z Budokai 3, for example, you can actually reset a character, so you can play through the story again with unlimited potential. But not here. You're stuck juiced up, giving kids the nastiest haymaker you've ever seen. It makes the game boring, in my opinion. A one and done, just like I did last night. Ayo! Don't get me wrong, I love beating people mercilessly in video games, but after a while, it sucks. You can only smurf on your alt account for so long before you want to get your blood pumping playing worthy opponents. The only way to reset a character is in free mode, where you can choose both characters' levels, skills, match rounds, how many knockdowns you can have, and even the arena you play in for each fight, which is a phenomenal feature. I'm saying that as a plus. And it makes the game good, but it's the only place you can do that. It makes replayability a little bit lower. There is one other thing I wouldn't call bad, but I also wouldn't call good. This game has a super secret 2-player option, which for some reason isn't advertised on the game's release. My guess is the 2-player option was meant to be used as a dev tool where they wanted to include 2-player capabilities but couldn't incorporate it properly before release. Which makes no sense considering this game was released in 2014 on the PS3. Holy frick, put it on the PS4! Sorry, I already talked about this and I'm over it. I just can't believe they thought this would be good looks for their game. If you go into the watching match mode and plug in a second controller, you can input L1, R1, left, right, square, circle to unlock 2-player mode. Whoa, 2-player! I mean, that's awesome. How could that be a bad thing? Well, unfortunately, 2-player doesn't make it split screen. So in this way, you're forced to face the screen on the opposite side and try to fight. It's so disorienting and not even worth trying. It's cool for memes and a quick way to play with a friend, but let's be real, it kind of stinks. Now, I'm a speedrunner. An anime speedrunner specifically, so how does this pan out for me? Beauties, I first round knockout everyone, so it got so boring so fast. You see, instead of difficulties, they actually incorporated that into the leveling system, which in turn was a horrible mistake. So for the first 10 fights, I ruined everyone's career by giving them CTE. And even by the last fight, when the boxer's between rank 17 and 25, depending on the story, I can still win pretty easily. There's just no challenge to the speedrun. The only way to save time is to hope the opponent doesn't block. Little skill is involved, so if you want to speedrun this as an easy one to pick up, it's got my nuggy seal of approval. Being rank 30 also throws combos away for some boxers. It is literally faster to mash hooks for Itagaki than to try to do any real combination. But that's the speedrunner life. We ruin games by making them as fast as we can. Sorry, not sorry, scrubs. Now, if I wanted to do a speedrun, starting from level 1, I would have to make a new save file every single time for each character. This also ruins the integrity of speedrunning another character from level 1. As you progress through the story, you unlock skills that are specific to each storyline. So for Ippo, I would unlock stronger body blow skills after each battle. which is very helpful for a storyline like Kimura's fight against Mashiba, since the best strategy is to catch him in a stomach disintegrating combination. This shows you would need very specific save files for different skill sets depending on the character you want to play as. It's just bad, honestly. On top of that, it makes it very confusing because you need to find which save file to use, and then if you ever want to re-lab a character switching the skill sets, then you actually need a different save file so you can find different skills. It's just not good. Aside from speedrunning, it changes someone's first impression of the game as a whole. Someone could have a way better time playing as Volk because he unlocked better skills playing different characters before him. There were just too many wrong things plaguing this game than good. Now don't get me wrong, I love this game. I truly do. I love the whole Hajime no Ippo series, and I highly recommend a first playthrough of this to everyone. I just had to let you beauties know the pitfalls and show this game could have truly been the best boxing game ever made. Beauties, thank you so much for watching. I put a lot of time and effort into this because I'm very passionate about the anime genre of video games. Too many times we get shafted on good games just because they were on TV. A lot of anime deserves better, especially Hajime no Ippo, when it's a series about believing in yourself and putting in the work to achieve your dreams. Be on the lookout for more videos like this one, and please like and subscribe if you enjoy Ippo just as much as I do. Take care, beauties. Bye. Love you.